My name is Bonnie Holcomb. I'm an anthropologist. I had been back from work in Ethiopia. I returned in '73. And in 1979, I saw that there was a posting for a conference. The title, it was at Michigan State University, and the title was Social Crisis in the Horn of Africa. And since it was held at Michigan State University, where Harold Marcus was predominant, the fact that it didn't use the term Ethiopia caught my attention. And I inquired about it, and I later found out that there was an Oromo at Michigan State University who had been part of the discussions about the conference and had insisted that the word Ethiopia not be used in the title. So I was right. There was an influence that was pushing back against Harold Marcus, which to me was a good thing. And he had not taken the positions that I would have preferred he take as he conducted his historical work, and later critiqued that in the book of my own. And I took the prospect of attending that conference to a Sunday group, discussion group that I attended at that time, where Oromos came and talked about the politics and the dynamics, the crisis that was unfolding post-famine, post-74 famine, all the changes that were occurring, and the Derg, all the revolutionary changes that had been made in '74 were being reversed. And when we arrived there, I met Hamdesa. Hamdesa was the person who had resisted Harold Marcus, had insisted on a broader call for the participants of the conference, and quite a drama unfolded there, in which three advocates of Oromo scholarship, Sisai Ibsa, Lube Biru, and myself, went to participate. There were members of the Derg government who were attending there, and when we arrived, Hamdesa had prepared the ground fairly well for us to be included, highlighted, and I was speaking about the challenge in the reports that the Agada system had met its demise, recounting just revisiting that issue. Sisai Ibsa gave a paper on the Derg, in which he titled "Red Star on the Emperor's Crown," because he had rejected, early on that Mengistu was actually a revolutionary. And Lube actually wrote a very interesting paper about the theory that Theodoros committed suicide. And Hamdesa, he was confident, he was very glad that this call had resulted in people coming to discuss the Oromo issue. And as he held forth, and as he really confidently promoted the Oromo positions, because there were Oromo positions, the Oromo were basically being denigrated at that time, to the point where even to raise the issue was problematic. And when Sisai, dressed up in a suit and tie, and really took very seriously his presentation to these members of the government who were attending, Hamdesa was extremely supportive and, delighted. And I came away from there thinking and beginning to call Hamdesa in my own mind and actually verbalizing as an evangelist for Oromuma. Evangelist, we weren't calling it Oromuma, but fairly soon we started calling Oromuma. And he had an impact there that was palpable and positive. So that was my introduction to him. The drama that played out in that conference was really quite interesting. Sisay Ibsa had been left off the program, and when Hamdesa questioned that, and also so did Sisay, Marcus decided to explain it as a clerical error rather than a bowing to the demands of the Derg officials who attended. Anyway, from then on, Hamdesa and I stayed in contact. I supported him in his work as he finished his PhD at MSU. When he started publishing, I remember one paper on, the education of Oromo, and he looked at education systems very thoroughly. And we were in good contact. I think he actually supported Oromo studies very actively. We were probably, I don't remember the years, but we were in touch consistently through the time that he lived in the DC area and taught at George Mason University. He invited me to come and explain the Gada system to his students. He had large classes of students who enjoyed his classes very much, who revered him as a good teacher, professor, and I could see that as I came as a guest lecturer. He was often after he left DC, he was at conferences where the two of us would be invited to speak. We'd have a chance to catch up. And I think that he played a pivotal role at an important time in the diaspora, the development of the diaspora in America, and also in Canada, in North America. So I have a great, I have fond memories of that period and respect for his courage and his diplomacy for the Oromo cause and his eloquence. He got the nickname Blah Blah Blah. He was so strong in that advocacy. So that would be my translation of evangelist as he played that role. And after he left the DC area, we were not in contact except in these meetings, and we did correspond a bit, but we both got very busy in other directions. But I have always appreciated his role in the initial period and his advocacy of indigenous systems. We're still struggling to make them work. It's still that mediation and that peacemaking eludes us, but he laid down very clear principles. He influenced people in very positive ways to pursue that, and I think that legacy is a powerful one. I'm saddened by his passing. I give my condolences to his family, his friends, and his wide community who rightfully respected him and held him as an esteemed member of the community. He opened doors. He opened people's minds to thinking about what the Oromo have to offer the wider community that they did not even have a glimpse of before he showed up. I think that's important, and I would express appreciation to him for that.